Another Colors of Prog episode. Season 7, episode 6, I believe. If anybody's keeping track, I'm trying to this time. So today, Crack the Sky. Yes, one of these bands I admit that I didn't pay much attention to back in the 70s, but now I adore them and they are still around, which is good. Good for me, good for you. Now, this is some story and a shortened version, and I will be speaking of them much more in episodes to come, podcast episodes. So, even though Crack the Sky went on hiatus a few times and had some personnel changes, um, then I guess you could say that about every band that formed in '75, but is still around, couldn't I? Or any band that formed in the late '60s and early '70s. Lots of personnel changes. Now, they were signed to the independent Life Song label. Yeah, Life Song. But they were distributed by CBS Records in the '70s. And then by American Origins around the 2000s, and then self-released. Now, Crack the Sky were a bit of a hard to categorize band. Very tuneful, melodic songs, some wonderful symphonic keyboard playing, and killer guitar work. Courtesy two lead guitarists, and they have a great thick bass sound. I mean, it's the band that really calls for discovery. And one of the things I like about discovering or rediscovering music like this uh, that resonates. A lot of the band's music, actually, I'll get to that in a second, are clever, veiled political statements that probably some of the best written I've heard in a long time. You don't have to be on a particular side to enjoy it because whatever side you're on, you can. These things are so cleverly written. Um, it's not a pick a side thing, but it's more than just that. The initial core of the band was John Palumbo on lead vocals and guitars and keyboards, Rick Witowski on guitars and vocals, Joe Macre on bass and vocals, Jim Griffiths on guitars and vocals, and Joey D'Amico on drums and vocals. Yeah, all these guys sang. Crack the Sky must have had some immeasurable clout back then. Their 1975 debut had the Brecker brothers, Randy and Michael, and David Sanborn on brass instruments. Who gets that for their debut album? So, Life Song, were they affiliate of CBS or were they independent that CBS carried? That debut album is pretty terrific. Um, about that debut album, in retrospect, it plays like a greatest hits self-titled debut album. Yeah, songs of Surf City, Hold On, She's a Dancer, Robots for Ronnie, a very cute song, and Ice. Now, Ice is the album's linchpin, and the top 10 it never was. Rolling Stone named it Album of the Year, but apparently there wasn't much of a promotional team at Lifesong to push it out there further, despite many positive reviews. Animal Notes followed in '76, and the songs were perhaps a little bit more quirky, but that doesn't just mean the music wasn't good. Then maybe there's far less immediately catchy songs, but both first album Animal Notes are still really good. John Palumbo left the band, according to what I read. This may be incorrect. He was dissatisfied at the time with the band not breaking out. and I can understand that. Um, Breaking out larger than they had hoped, and there was some issues there. Now, singer and guitarist Gary Lee Chappell became the new singer of Crack the Sky for Safety in Numbers, released in '78. Um, Good things I could say about that album. The production in the mix is a little bit better. Um, you can hear the keyboards, Moog, and synthesizer. Um, oh, Rob Stevens was also credited with producing. Um, Gary Lee Chappell had a different sounding voice than John Palumbo, but the band went out and toured. And they toured with material from the first two albums and Safety in Numbers. Live Sky, released in '78, also on Live Song. These first four, at least, well, I believe, are on Live Song vinyl. Is a live representation of what the Safety in Numbers band sounded like live, which pretty much everybody from the original Crack the Sky and then a new singer. Live Sky sound maybe a little chaotic, as most Crack the Sky albums seem to be. I've heard a bunch of different ones, and recent ones, but it's still great, enjoyable music. There's 7 tracks on Live Sky. And interesting, it pulls 5 of the best songs from the debut album and adds a cover of the Beatles' I Am the Walrus, just because. Now, not about these albums, but John Palumbo resurfaced and reclaimed the Crack the Sky band name and released White Music in 1980, I believe. And since then, check this out, there's been 17 Crack the Sky albums, and quite a few of them featuring re-recordings of songs from the 1975 debut. But as I said, almost every song on that album is terrific. So if you want to re-record it, maybe it was a rights issue, or maybe with different studio technologies available, let's re-record that song. And there's been up to now 5 live albums, not including Live Sky. I have a number of these, and we'll be speaking about them later on, as I said earlier. Interesting, there's been a variety of musicians in and out of the various Crack the Sky lineups. But more recent CDs that I've listened to feature, in addition to John Palumbo, who's back, and welcome back, guitarist Rick Vitowski, drummer Joey D'Amico, and bass player Joe Macrae. Not every lineup is the same, but Vitowski and the drummer pretty much are the constant in addition to Palumbo. Still touring after all these years. It seems the progressive music community is embracing the band. And as well, they should. Someone should. And I'd say catch them live if you can. They were on, I believe, the last recent Cruise to the Edge. They will be appearing at Prog Stock in October in New Jersey. And pretty much a Midwest band. I can't tell if they're playing locally there, where they're located, but if you can get out to Prague Stock, that's the next one I see them listed for. I think they may even be headlining a night, or one of the 2 headliners on a Friday night, I believe. Check them out. Anyway, so Crack the Sky, I'll be talking about them much more. I like the new stuff. And John Plumbo, I don't know if I've said it, he's got solo music, which sounds just like Crack the Sky. Um, his voice is still strong after all these years, and yeah, he's a hell of a guitar player. So yeah, that's the show today on Crack the Sky.